The Takumi SEN 10 is ADIDAS's take on a 5k and 10k racer, although this could very well be one of the best workout shoes out there. Hello everybody, my name is Casey Atkinson and I'm an 18-year-old runner who reviews shoes here on YouTube. And today I'm going to be talking to you guys all about the Takumi SEN 10. I had the Takumi SEN 8, which was 2 versions previous, and I loved it, so I thought I would pick up the 10 and see how it goes. As always, we will start off with the specs, then the overview, what my experience was like running in the shoe, and lastly, how I've been using the shoe in my training. Starting off with the specs, Adidas says that this shoe is designed for 5k and 10k racing, so we have 33mm of stack height in the heel with a 6mm drop, giving us 27 in the forefoot. So this is really just a lower stack version than their marathon race shoe, the Adidas Pro 3, and it also comes in at a lighter weight than that shoe at 201 grams or 7.1 ounces. Even with the lower stack, it is still not lighter than shoes like the Metaspeed Sky Paris series, although 201 grams is still a very lightweight. Now for the overview, we have an engineered mesh upper, which is very minimal in order to save weight. The midsole is Lightstrike Pro, which is Adidas's premier racing foam. The compound is not your typical PEBA foam like in other racing shoes. Instead, this is a TPEE compound. Within the midsole here, we have Energy Rods 2.0. This is Adidas's version of a plate, as you may see in other shoes. Instead, these 5 rods follow the metatarsals in your feet. These are not carbon rods, but they are made out of glass fiber. The outsole features trusty Continental rubber, which is this green patch here, and the rest is a textile rubber. Now we are onto the main part of the shoe review, which is what my experience was like running in the Takumi SEN 10. And as you would expect, being a lower stack racer, it is very nimble. The Lightstrike Pro isn't what you'd usually expect from other super foams. It has a more dense feeling underfoot and doesn't feel super bouncy. This gives a firmer ride but is very responsive. The performance benefits are still there, although they are less pronounced and more subtle. Overall, this gives more of a racing flat feel rather than a super shoe feel, which I feel is a good thing, seeing as it is aimed at shorter distances. The energy rods provide good snappiness to the shoe, although they are not that pronounced, just like the Lightstrike Pro. They're kind of just working in the background. That being said, if you took them away, you would definitely notice something missing. So overall, the midsole has a more muted and dense feeling, although this is not necessarily a bad thing, as the performance benefits are still there and the components work together really well. This just gives more of a grounded feel, which is more stable and feels like a modern racing flat. The upper is very stripped down, which is good as it helps save weight, and as you can see, the engineered mesh is very lightweight and breathable. Overall, the fit on the upper is pretty good, but nothing to write home about. I went true to size and it fits a bit snug, but that's kind of what you want when you want to go fast. There is 2 pads either side of the heel counter, and the heel counter does keep you locked in, although I did experience some blisters. These blisters were a bit weird because sometimes I got them and sometimes it was completely fine, so I'm not really sure what was going on there. Lastly, we have the outsole. The trusty Continental rubber provides good grip, and overall, the textile rubber and the Continental rubber are holding up really well with really good durability, so no complaints there. Lastly, we are onto how I've been using the shoe, and as I said earlier, this is aimed at 5k and 10k racing, although this is not how I've been using it. Instead, I've been using it exclusively for workouts, whether they're on road, grass, or gravel, and it performs really well on all of these surfaces. It performs really well on paces that are threshold or faster, and it is not designed for easy running, although if you wanted to just wear one shoe for the whole workout, it can handle warm-ups and warm-downs just fine. Now, I haven't been using it for races as I prefer a full stack super shoe like my Saucony Endorphin Elite. I don't really like using these aggressive low to the ground options for racing. I just feel that they're too taxing for my style of racing. When I'm racing, I like to settle in quickly and switch off as much as possible, and the extra stack height and cushioning in shoes like this helps me to do that. In terms of the Takumi, I find that you have to be constantly thinking about the shoe as you can feel the ground, have to maintain a good foot strike, and an aggressive racing style. At 201 grams, it's pretty much the same weight as my Endorphin Elite, so I'd rather just prefer the extra foam and cushioning underfoot. So yeah, a really good training shoe for me, although I'm not quite convinced to race in it. I think they need to somehow get the weight down and make the foam a bit more bouncy. But overall, a really great shoe here from Adidas, and I find myself reaching for it weekly for my interval workouts. So that wraps up my full review of the ADIDAS TAKUMI SEN 10. Thank you if you have made it this far in the video, so please consider subscribing, and I'll see you all in the next one.